and welcome everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for the month of December 2023. We're looking at the overall numerology of this month and what we can expect collectively as the month unfolds. This is a general forecast, so if you would like your own personal numerology reading, please book some time with me. My information's in the description box below, and I'd love to work with you. This is a great time to get your year ahead forecast if you haven't already, so you can see how your personal energies are at play throughout 2026, and you can decide how best to work with them. All right, so for December, we're going to be working with a vibration of the 21-3, and it's interesting because to end the year, to end such a tumultuous year, such a pivotal year, such an important year with the vibration of the 3 is very divinely guided, I think. 3 energy reminds us of our joy, or it reminds us to tap into that joy, to create it, to find it, to give our energy and our focus towards the things that bring us joy, that make us happy. That can be surrounding ourselves with people who make us happy, who make us laugh, who, want to see us be successful, who are our greatest cheerleaders. It can be, giving ourselves permission to put time and energy towards hobbies or crafts or, just expressing ourselves in a way that feels good for us. It doesn't mean that it has to produce something or it has to have some kind of monetary reward. But the 3 energy is always pushing us to tap into our internal resources when it has to do with our creativity and our innate gifts. And again, what lights us up? What makes us happy? Truly, it is that energy of connecting to your inner child, to allowing your inner child out to play and allowing that inner child to lead when it comes to some of the decisions that you make and how you spend your time and who you surround yourself with. So really throughout December, we can find ourselves seeking out those joyous occasions, seeking out those opportunities to relax or let our hair down or go out and have some fun, to indulge a little or a lot, to, splurge on what it is that we've wanted to treat ourselves with for so long, but have been talking ourselves out of. This can be about going to that social event or holding a social event. Maybe you're the one who wants to hold a party and invite people and meet new people and mix and mingle. This is a time to connect with others in a way that feels good, not out of obligation, but in a way where you're connecting with others who maybe have similar values, who have similar creative ideas, and talking shop, but fun shop. And so the creativity that can come out of that, even if it's just the conversations that can come out of that can elicit joy, can be quite profound and life-changing. So you do have many opportunities potentially this month to connect with people who bring joy into your life or meet new people who may in the future bring joy into your life. But this is a month for setting down the heavy burdens where possible, right? Sometimes those burdens that we're carrying can't be set down easily, but the 3 reminds us that even alongside of the most difficult situations, we can always hold space and make space for joy and support and love and comfort and all of those things that lift our spirit. The 3 energy is that. It's about lifting the spirit. And sometimes we have to get really creative. Sometimes we have to use our imagination in finding ways to tap into that idealism or optimism. And what that can do is, even if we're in the most dire situation, that tapping into that hope or that optimism or that idealism can be like, it can have a buoyancy effect. It can bring us back to the top of the water so we can catch our breath. So if you find yourself, especially, if you celebrate the holidays throughout December, then, it can be a stressful time. It can be a time of connecting with people who maybe don't lift your spirits or aren't your greatest cheerleaders. Sometimes family can be difficult to connect with. Not everyone has that beautiful, environment to return home to. So you may find yourself in situations that might be a little bit difficult, but when you can, keep contact with your inner child and connect to that hope, that optimism, that imagination, you can be your own life vest within the situation and bring yourself back up for air. So you've got to kind of find your way through it. But the 3 reminds us that when we are moving through a 3 cycle, we are being pushed in the direction of our joy. And again, oftentimes we have to create it and we have to give ourselves permission to do so. So do the things, give yourself time, give yourself permission to do the things that at least make you feel safe and secure and happy. You don't have to get yourself to the point of bliss if it's not possible for whatever reason, but creating a place where you feel safe and you feel secure and it's soothing, that can get you to joy rather quickly. Speaking up for yourself, right? 3 energy is all about communication. So speaking up for yourself and saying no, if there's a social event you don't want to be a part of, if there's any kind of situation that you don't want to be a part of, or you don't want to take on that responsibility or that burden, no will work wonders. And the 3 energy reminds us that we have the power to say no. So you might be flexing that muscle this month and communicating your needs. And in that process, you can start to move away from the things that are the killjoy, that take the joy away. And that can be powerful within itself. And that can be moving you more towards what lifts you up, what brings you joy, or what reignites that optimism within you. This year, having been a 9 cycle, and I called this year of 2025 the year of a reckoning for many reasons, which if you are curious, you can listen to the 2025 forecast that was the numerology of 2025. But there's been many times throughout the year for many people that, it was a struggle. It's been difficult. It's been challenging. There's been a lot of obstacles to overcome, a lot of release, a lot of awakening, a lot of greater clarity and understanding about what we want and what we don't want, what we want to build towards, what we want to start to deconstruct and move away from. And there's been some heavy times throughout the year, for sure, that we've had to figure out how to move through, but then what to do when we get to the other side, So again, having sort of this heavier energy throughout the year, I like that we're ending on this 3 note because again, it's that universal reminder that we have the power within ourselves to choose to connect to joy, to choose to connect to and put our energy and our focus towards the things that bring us together, that unite, that bring joy to a situation, that bring cohesion as opposed to separation. 3 energy is all about coming together, collaborating, being playful, and working together to find the beauty of the situation. What I also love about this cycle is it gives us an opportunity, now that we know or have somewhat of an idea collectively of the direction we want to be moving forward, because 2026 is going to be the start of a whole new era, a whole new, 9 cycle, 1 through 9 cycle. So now that we've had this year to really see, very clearly what it is that we want, what we don't want, the 3 energy brings in that motivation to tap into our creative resources, to come together, to work together, to create what we want to see. And so this could be the time for brainstorming. Could be the time where the creative juices are flowing. And it doesn't have to be just on the grand, on the global stage. It can be individually as well. So if you're finding that this year has sort of forced you to decide what it is that you want moving forward, what you don't want, this month with this 3 cycle can have you really tapping into those creative juices, your imagination, your playfulness, what brings you joy, and start to figure out how you can do more of that or create more of that in your life. And again, if it has to do with the people that you're connecting with, if the people who you are surrounding yourself with are not bringing joy to your life or are draining or, feel more like obligation, then this energy will help you to have those conversations. This is all about conversing and sharing expressing yourself and sharing what you need. This is all about self-expression. And again, tapping into your creativity and your imagination and your communication skills in order to do so. So there could be opportunities for that this month, to be able to express yourself in a way that can be very healing, but can also move you towards the people, places, things that feel much more aligned and that can open you up to much more creativity, much more joy, much more fulfillment, much more happiness, all of those things. But it comes back down to speaking your truth and having space for others to do the same without judgment or shame or manipulation, trying to control that situation. So it can be quite a healing month in that sense, but it's going to help to set the course for the coming year, because we're very close to 2026 now. So having this 3 cycle will likely push you into the environments where those conversations can be had. You might have to initiate the conversation, but the conversation needs to be had in order for that sort of understanding that's needed in order to make appropriate decisions. That has the power to really set the stage for the coming year. But overall, with this 3 cycle, and this is why I like to see this as a closing out cycle, it's about humor and laughter and being social and collaborating and creativity and connecting with people and playing more. And again, imagination and expressing yourself in a way that feels true, truly true. Like if you want to dress a certain way, dress a certain way. If you're feeling happy, express that happiness. If you're feeling love, express that love. If you're feeling frustration, express that frustration in a healthy way, but express it. 3 energy is all about expression. So anything you've been kind of pushing down or avoiding because of fear of being shamed or ridiculed or whatever, or fear of not even being successful or whatever it may be, this month is going to push you into the spotlight, onto the center stage, to be you, to express. And again, to be on stage with your inner child and to find that joy and to reconnect to that joy. You can always say no, but the invitation is there with this cycle. And I always say, take the invitation, because the intervention is a lot more uncomfortable. So this is such a beautiful month for expressing yourself, not somebody else's version of you, not what someone else wants to see, not the expectations, but really truly you, and not apologizing for that. 3 energy, when it's in its power, and in its higher octave, can be very direct and very honest with its delivery, because it's driven by the truth of the individual. So if anything, this month could see you coming out from your shell and, again, expressing yourself in a way that feels comfortable and good for you. It's not about, again, meeting other people's expectations. So really beautiful cycle with that. Now, the other thing here that I love about this month, because we're working with that vibration of the 21, that brings in the potential for new opportunities to come in. And what I would say is, don't dismiss or give up on those opportunities too quickly, because one thing about the 3 is it's all about not judging a book by its cover. So the opportunity might present and it might look not that promising, But if you dig a little bit deeper, there's probably a lot of potential there. And that opportunity could turn into something quite significant that can have quite an effect on your year ahead and your life overall. This is also one of those cycles that can be really potent when it comes to releasing the old and making way for the new, which is so aligned with the 9 universal year cycle, right, that we're in 2025. And that newly revealed information or that newly revealed opportunity or world can offer some ultimate realizations of your plans, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams come the next year or the coming years. So therefore, I would say don't overlook opportunities that come up for you at this time. And it could be an opportunity for a social gathering, an opportunity for a conversation, an opportunity, again, to express yourself in a way you've always wanted to express yourself, but had fear around it for whatever reason. And I'm not talking about like putting yourself in harm's way, right? But there is the reality in this world, unfortunately, where especially some populations aren't always free to fully express themselves in a way that feels good for them because of actual rational fear that could occur. So when I'm talking about all this stuff, I do have that understanding that we're not always able to do that. And so do what makes you feel good, but that also makes you feel safe. That's important. And if you're in that kind of situation, this energy can help you to see where it is that you are safe to express yourself in that way, who you are safe to do that around, what environments, so that you can do more of it. And so again, it may give the opportunity to make some decisions about where you want to spend more of your time, where you want to invest more of your energy, because that's where you can be most authentically you. And it will help you to find ways to do that. So those could be the kind of opportunities that come up for you. So be open to that. The potential for success under this cycle is actually really great. It's such a supportive energy, again, for us to share our gifts, to express ourselves, all of those things we've been talking about. And so the more that we can do that, the more we can share our gifts, our ideas, our creativity, all those pieces, there's the potential to see great success from that action or from those actions. And so again, it comes back to this is the kind of supportive energy that can help you to accomplish whatever it is that you desire. It might mean that you have to recognize where your limitations are, connect and collaborate with others to help you to achieve those goals. But this cycle has the potential to bring in those people who can help you to do that. And this is a great month for sort of getting your ducks in a row so that as we step into a entirely different energy come 2026, in just a few short weeks, you can really start to invest your energy and put your time and commitment towards achieving those goals. And it's very likely that you'll see success from that, whatever success means for you, even if it's just that fulfillment of getting that done, whatever it may be. Travel could also come up under this cycle. Anytime we have like 3 energy, also 5 energy, it can bring in the opportunity for travel or experiencing other cultures or ways of doing things, different landscapes. And oftentimes what we can find is that we get inspired from those experiences. Or again, we gain bigger perspectives, new perspectives, different ways of doing things. And that can ignite passion and inspiration. You can also connect with people who, again, light you up, bring you joy, who make you happy in ways that maybe you didn't even think were possible. And so travel, if it comes up for you, again, if you're able to, I would say go for it. Even if it's a short trip, it's worth it, especially if it's being done for joy. If it's being done for work, you can still get a lot out of it. But this would be one of those cycles where I would say, if you have an opportunity and it's for fun and to feel more free and to open your mind and to find greater ways of that self-expression and to give yourself permission to do the things that bring you pleasure, then I think you'll get a tremendous amount out of that travel. Also, you could see change of job or residence at this time coming up from those opportunities that may present. So maybe out of the blue, you get some kind of job offer that requires you to travel. Maybe it requires you to move quite a distance as possible. But there's like this opportunity to explore and to try something new that feels much more aligned than maybe where you've currently been. And I'm not saying that you have to jump on it and say yes right away, but this would be the energy to explore it, be curious, and again, see where it takes you. Try to understand that the opportunities that are presenting now, no matter how big or small, they're presenting because you are ready for whatever is lying on the other side of that opportunity. So your job is to be curious, to explore, to see how you feel about it before you make that final decision on whether or not to say yes to it or not. And if it's intriguing, if it feels good, if it feels aligned, if you're curious about it and you want to go further, I would say yes to it and see where it goes. Because when it happens under 3 energy, it has the potential to be very, very fulfilling in the long run. Now, again, I go back to sort of closing this out and tying this all together. If you are celebrating the holidays and you are in those spaces where, you've got to maintain your composure, maybe you can't be fully expressive the way you want to be, maybe you're connecting with family who have different beliefs or values than you do, or whatever it may be, this is a month where it's going to be really, really important to stay true to yourself in all ways possible, but to manage your emotions in a healthy way. Get yourself back to neutral as well as you can, and I would say as quickly as you can. And if you have to remove yourself from the situation in order to do that, then I would say do that, because this can be a cycle where it might be quick to be reactive. You might be quick to be reactive, and you just want to be careful about that, because when we're reactive to situations, a lot of times we have buyer's remorse for that reactivity down the road. And so your best course of action, no matter what the situation is to get yourself back to a place of neutrality, so that when you respond to the situation, you're doing it from a place that can be constructive as opposed to destructive. You don't have control over what anybody else does. You only have control over yourself. And this might be a month that helps you to kind of flex that muscle of how you handle situations where, others are being reactive, others want to debate, others want to argue, others don't want to communicate in a healthy way. And that doesn't mean you have to meet them there. You get to choose how you engage. You get to choose how you respond or how you react. And I can say that the responding as opposed to reacting usually has a lot less cleanup time on the back end. So it is worth your time, your energy, your inner strength to get yourself back to neutrality before engaging in that dialogue. So yeah, this month has a lot of potential to bring in a lot of joy and goodness and fulfillment and happiness and greater connections and opportunities for creative expression, creative development, connecting with others, all these beautiful pieces. But it also has the opportunity to help us to grow emotionally and express ourselves, advocate for ourselves, find those ways back to ourselves, that the true self, and truly decide what we want our experience to look like, and then invest the time and energy to continue to build that experience. So I hope it's a beautiful December. Happy holidays to you all. And no matter what this month brings for you, find time to connect to your joy, because that's going to be your life fest. That's going to be what brings you the greatest success this month. I hope it's a great one. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.